So for this next photo, I'm going to be editing a photo of Bree at Monument Valley, and this doesn't need to be blended for the exposure. However, we shot at sunset when we should have shot at sunrise, but we didn't have time to stay the night. So I really love this shot, but my shadow ruins it. So I'm going to take this photo and kind of just mask it onto here, and kind of just fix that. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to open as layers in Photoshop. And what I will be essentially doing is clone stamping using a content aware fill tool and just kind of brushing it up. And it's not going to be as if it was real, but the rocks right here do not kind of make or break the photo. So it's just tools to clean up a photo when it doesn't really change the initial message behind it. Alright, so for this I'm going to take this top layer and I'm going to turn down the opacity, and I'm going to try to kind of line up other parts of the photo. But I believe, let me see real fast, they were taken slightly different positions, maybe a little bit different focal length. So what we mainly want to line up is this part over here. So maybe right there. Okay, so let's see, looking at this part specifically. Okay, lines up pretty good, but for now I'm going to hide that, just try to fix up this area first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lasso tool and I'm going to just draw a rough selection around part of my leg shadow. I'm going to do control click, fill, and put it to content aware. It's going to load. And I'm going to deselect so I can have a better look at that. And that did a pretty good job at that part. I think I will need to clean up some parts. It just looks a little off. Maybe it's some duplication. But for now, it's a good start. I'm going to take one more of this other leg. Fill, content aware. I'm going to deselect that so I can see it better. So that helps big time. And now what I'm going to do for this top part is I'm going to try to just kind of brush it in from another photo. So I'm going to take a layer mask, I'm going to invert it, and then I'm going to take my brush with a white brush and just maybe at 50%, 68%, and just brush it in. And that did a really, really good job. But there's a little shadow right here I don't like, and you can see a little bit of separation. I'm gonna just, that's in there, so I'll have to fix that after. With a maybe like 20% opacity brush, kind of just try to get in some of this lightness to feather that smoother. And I think that did a pretty good job. And if I do the backslash key, you can see what I just brushed in, and that's right here at a higher opacity, and this is a little bit of red because it was at a lower opacity. So that's a cool little tool. And I just come back up to like 50, just kind of brush around here. And if I undo that, you can see I just kind of changed what was there. However, it wasn't critical to the photo, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I can even mess with this. And let's turn this layer off. That's a huge difference. So now I'm going to make a merge visible layer, Command Option Shift E. Take my lasso tool and get this little kind of dark shadow hopefully out of here. Command D, that did a great job. And right now there might be some, like right here, this is a duplication. Certain things just maybe look duplicated and slightly off. It might also just be the rocks, because this I didn't touch and that almost looks like it's a duplicate. But I'm just going to mess around with the clone stamp tool. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to put my opacity maybe at 80. And I'm going to bracket to get a bigger brush. So I just want to get rid of this duplication because that's a clear giveaway to an edited photo. So to take a selection, I'm going to do Alt-click, and then I will just drag, and you can see it hover over. What I did is I made the Alt-click, that's the selection, and now I can click and put it on another area. So I don't want it there, but just to show you how it works. So if I wanted to do like the sky, Alt-click, bring it over here, and that's at 80% opacity. So that's the purpose of the clone stamp tool. It's really nice. It's right here. Just gonna pick a selection right next to it and clean that up. And then just kind of right there, I got rid of that duplication there. I think it looked nice. And sometimes when you do this at a really light opacity, it can kind of just help blend photos better because it doesn't take away any texture, which the brush sometimes does, but it does just help clean up your photo. So I'll do one last merge visible layer, hide these layers, and now before, and this is actually after I even took out the legs, but this is after to show you the true before. So here's the actual before, full body shadow, and here's the after. So if the lighting conditions aren't great and you don't have another day to stay in Monument Valley and your shadow gets in your shot, there are ways that you can fix that. So hope that helps.